At 19, Clara's life had been decided by whispers and judgment. Branded as damaged goods by her own family, she was sold at the market without ceremony. Her hands trembled as strangers examined her like livestock, voices murmuring about mistakes, shame, and worth. Each word cut deeper than any wound. The silent rancher, Henry McCall, stood apart from the crowd. Known for his quiet ways and unshakable moral compass, he rarely intervened in town matters. But something about Clara, the way she held her head despite fear, caught his attention. There was strength in her eyes he hadn't seen before. Clara barely noticed him at first. Her mind was a whirl of shame, anger, and helplessness. She had been punished for mistakes not entirely her own, and yet here she was, being paraded for profit. The auctioneer's voice rang out as bids were called. Henry raised his hand. A hush fell over the market square. "I'll take her," he said, his tone quiet but firm. The crowd murmured, some mocking, others curious. Clara's stomach dropped. Was this another cruelty, another trap? When Henry walked toward her, he offered no explanation, only a steady hand and calm presence. Clara hesitated, then took it, feeling the first shred of safety in months. She climbed onto his horse, grateful but wary, glancing back at her family with a mixture of relief and sorrow. The ride to his ranch was long, dust rising behind the horse, sun beating down relentlessly. Clara tried to read Henry's expression but found only quiet determination. She realized he had not spoken once about her past, had not judged, had not demanded. At the ranch, he guided her into a small, neat guest room. "Rest," he said. "You will not be sold again. Not here." Clara's hands shook as she sank onto the bed. No one had ever said such words to her, and it felt almost unreal. Days passed slowly. Henry provided meals, bandaged bruises, and offered work only if she chose. He never pressed her for explanation, though he seemed aware of every scar and hesitation. Clara's heart cautiously began to hope. Perhaps there could be trust in the world after all. One afternoon, while repairing a fence, Clara slipped and injured her wrist. Henry appeared without a word, carefully tending her wound. "Who did this to you?" he asked gently. For the first time, Clara told her story, the abuse, the betrayal, the labeling as damaged. Henry listened silently, his face a mask of calm. "Those who hurt you are not who you are," he said finally. "Their opinion does not define you. Here, you have a choice to be more than what they claim." Clara felt tears prick her eyes but nodded slowly. Rumors reached town. People whispered about the silent rancher who bought damaged goods. Some called it scandalous, others suspicious. Henry ignored them all. He had always believed that worth was measured not by society's judgment, but by actions, courage, and integrity. Clara's days grew steadier. She learned to care for the livestock, manage the small household, and ride the land freely. Henry never hovered, never demanded, but his quiet guidance gave her a sense of safety she had never known. Trust grew naturally between them. Months later, a man came seeking her, claiming authority and retribution for the family's loss. Henry met him at the gate, calm but immovable. "She stays," he said. No argument, no threat. The man left, flustered and defeated. Clara realized for the first time she could stand without fear. Winter brought snow and quiet evenings by the fire. Clara and Henry sat often in companionable silence, watching flames flicker. Sometimes words came, sometimes laughter. Slowly, she realized she had come to care for the man who had saved her, who had seen her as human, not broken. One evening, as stars glimmered over the ranch, Clara asked Henry why he had chosen her, why he had protected her when everyone else abandoned her. He looked at her steadily. "I saw what no one else did," he said. "Strength, courage, and heart. You were never damaged. They were blind." Clara felt warmth flood her chest. For the first time, she believed someone truly saw her. Trust and love grew between them, unhurried, unforced, built on respect, protection, and shared understanding. She realized she could live fully without fear or shame. By spring, Clara was walking taller, laughing more freely. The ranch flourished, her confidence blossomed, and the bond between her and Henry deepened. Outsiders still whispered, but their words no longer mattered. Clara knew her worth, and Henry had helped her see it. The town would tell stories. The silent rancher who saved a girl sold as damaged goods. But the truth was simpler. He saw her for who she really was. He offered safety, dignity, and the chance to live fully. And she, in turn, gave him trust, friendship, and love. Years later, the ranch stood as a symbol, not of wealth, but of integrity, courage, and human compassion. Clara no longer feared the world, for she had someone who believed in her completely. Henry never needed to explain himself. His actions spoke louder than any word. And in that quiet, snow-dusted ranch in the heart of the Wild West, two lives, once scarred and abandoned, thrived together, proving that true strength lies not in judgment or appearance, but in trust, understanding, and unspoken loyalty.